Greetings everyone, this is Abdurrahman Mubarak speaking. I'd love to share with you my latest plugins for Revit, Dialux to Revit. If you are an electrical engineer and you want to distribute this architect plan, ideally what would you do? You go there, File, Export, then DWG, and you open a project in Dialux and you import the DWG you exported. And of course place it in here, then distribute the lighting fixture according to the standard and the code you are working with. And of course you need to care for the seating type, and let's say you senior or your team leader has approved to this design and you are ready to place it back to Revit and place the fixtures according to this design. You would simply go to export, then you need to adjust some settings before you continue. First of all, you need to remove the room designation. In luminaires, you need to adjust to 1 layer per prototype for luminaires. You don't need the others properties. Then you choose your AutoCAD version and your unit of measures. After you do so, then you go there to Revit, insert, link CAD, and simply link the DWG you just exported from the Dialux. I've already done these steps, so I have aligned it, I have placed it, linked it, and aligned it to the architect plan. Then you go there, systems, lighting fixtures, place on face, and of course you would place each fixture to a proper location according to this DWG file. Of course, with larger architect plan, more spaces, more areas, you will need a day, probably 2, to accomplish this task. That's why my plugin comes to the rescue. Before you launch my plugin, you need to do 2 more steps. First, you need to create a reference plane in order to place the lighting fixtures, because in my plugin I use this reference to host all my phase-based lighting fixtures families. So of course I've already done this step. I created a reference plane, I name it properly, ceiling dash ground level. Ideally what you need to do is to adjust the height to the most common ceiling height in your level. So I'm gonna align this reference plane to this ceiling, because I know that most of your plan doesn't have the same ceiling height. You need to adjust its proper elevation after the families are being placed. The second step you need to do is to set up an Excel file just like this one. This contains the layer name of your luminaire that comes from the DWG from Dialux. If we open the DWG that comes from Dialux, you'll see that each fixture has its own layer name. This type F1 has Dialux Lumen 1, this type has Dialux Lumen 2, and of course this type Dialux Lumen 3, and so on. In the Excel file, you need to say what is the equivalent family type name you want to place to this fixtures. Setting up Dialux type layer and family type, just like mapping between these two, between the DWG that comes from Dialux and your Revit project. After you've done these 2 steps, you are ready to launch my plugin. And now let's launch my plugin. We simply select a Dialux DWG, then we choose the Excel file we've been made to map between the DWG Dialux layer name and the family type name in our Revit project. Then we select the reference plane we created to host all phase-based families. Then we select the base level for these families and click run. As you can see, with just one click, we've placed all these family instances according to the DWG that comes from Dialux. In a larger plan, in more spaces, more areas, it will take a lot of time to accomplish this task. Also, there's one more thing I need to show you. If we have a plan like this one, it's actually pretty much the same architect plan but with a rotation to it. My plugin can handle this kind of rotation also. If we select a DWG, this one, and of course select the same Excel file and same reference plane and same base level, and we click run, as you can see, my plugin can handle also this kind of rotation. All family instances have been placed according to its proper location, its proper rotation, according to the DWG that comes from Dialux. If we go in the 3D view, you'll see that it's placed according to the reference plane, to the reference plane adjusted to be its height the same as the ceiling offset of the architect. Like I said, if you have a different offset in ceiling in different room, you simply select all of your lighting fixture and simply go edit work plane, pick a plane, and simply click the ceiling, and in a second we will move from the reference plane host to the linked Revit model of your architect model. And that's it. I hope you enjoy this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed this plugin. Thank you for watching, and I see you in the next plugin.